playoffs moved in.
Yep, and we're moving. I did good. I got 1 out of 4.
I think you outdid me. I picked the playoffs like I used to gamble. I played with my heart and didn't play with my freaking brain. So
I don't know. I think a brain wouldn't have worked on this one anyway.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, I tell you what, let's go and see where we're at. So y'all come on back in. Let's talk about this. And we welcome you back to the Midnight Riders podcast. I am Johnny.
And I'm Chuck.
How are y'all doing? I hope everybody's doing well. We are checking in with our NBA update. The first game of the semis got played last night, Boston and Indiana, and so that's kind of where we are. Date is May 22nd, and let's just were you stunned about anything?
Oh yeah, I was. Hell, I didn't. I only hit 1 of the 4. I mean, I figured the Clippers would beat Dallas. I didn't expect Dallas to do what they.
Well, let's start on. You start with the East or West?
Let's start with the East because that'll be a little bit quicker with the exception of one of them. I mean, Boston. Well, Boston's doing what we thought Boston would do.
We'll see. But here's the thing. Like, if you watch the first cast we did on this thing, I was concerned Boston would do what Boston does. Play real well the first round, and they did. They blew Miami away. I mean, wasn't even close. But then the second round, they usually start to fizzle, and it's usually a close series, and then they barely squeak it out. But I mean, hell, Cleveland wasn't even
nah. I think they won. They won 1 game. There's no doubt. They did what they were supposed to. Again, they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland was. I thought Cleveland was going to be a little bit better than that. To be honest with you,
bad match.
I mean, what was their record? I mean, 48-34.
They took second in the Central. Yeah.
I mean, they were still the 4th or 5th best team in the East, which it's not saying a lot. The East wasn't that good this year.
No.
But I
thought they put up a more. I had Orlando beating Cleveland anyway, but.
Yeah, exactly. So I had Cleveland winning it, barely. Orlando really played better. I mean, I don't know, a couple of bad breaks here and there. I mean, but
they just
that's what the NBA is all about, bad breaks and mistakes.
Well, and again, like you said, they're in the East. They're not anything close to comparison to the West side, with the exception of Boston. No. And what I thought was Milwaukee, too many injuries.
Oh yeah, I mean, boy, you could tell too. I mean, there's some teams that you can just tell that. I mean, they just weren't the same team.
No.
I mean, playing that entire series against. Of course, now see, I would say that that the only way Indiana got past them was the fact that they were so banged up and so beaten up. But then, the Knicks took care of Philadelphia, which. I mean, Philadelphia had a couple of good games, but they just weren't healthy.
Well, without Embiid being at full strength,
they weren't healthy either.
As good.
So then they go to the second round, and I thought New York was just going to take.
It started out that way,
and then all of a sudden, here comes Indiana again. I mean, they're just. I mean, Halliburton is playing lights out.
Siakam's. that pickup on Siakam getting him from Toronto, proved to be huge.
Well,
it's freaking huge.
We've always said, and everybody that's ever been an NBA guy says how one person can make a huge difference in a team,
and especially basketball,
and in the NBA. And it's apparent right now.
Yes,
for Indiana, but then again, you got 2 or 3 of them actually playing above what they played during the season.
Sure.
In my opinion, in my opinion,
they are. Miles Turner. I mean, they got a good squad. Miles Turner, Obi Toppin off the bench, McConnell off the bench. They got a good squad. They just I did not see them getting past Milwaukee. I definitely didn't see them getting past the Knicks with the way Brunson was playing.
No, not at all.
But there they are.
Well, and the Knicks. I mean, hell, the Knicks. God, they played well.
Brunson's.
I mean, they got blown out. What, 1 game? I think it was. I mean, but
Brunson's so good.
He is so good.
God,
he's so good. Everything. I mean, he's one of those that does everything right.
Yeah.
And he had a good series. It's just, I mean, that last game 7. I mean, it's they just couldn't get over couldn't get over the hump.
No.
And Indiana just kept the pedal down. I mean, they just kept it down and they just kept going.
Yeah,
and they never slowed down. They never slacked off. They push, go.
They're big. They weren't. I don't think they were a great matchup for the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks aren't near as big, in my opinion,
right,
or played that way. But unfortunately, I think Indiana's going to run into their issues with Boston, as shown in Game 1.
Well, it did. I mean, the thing about Indiana, everybody that knows me knows I'm a big believer in this in sports when it comes to the team of destiny. I'm a big believer in that. It's happened so many times in every sport. There's reasons that there's no way that team should win. There's no way those teams should. The World Series with the Cardinals and the Royals. There's no way those both should have been in there.
No.
The Final Four matchup when it was Kansas and OU. There's no way those two teams should. You can go back in time and find a lot of
the time.
Is Indiana that team? Is Indiana that team?
I think we got that team on the other side of the bracket.
Well, we're gonna get there, but I mean Indiana. I'm not a big believer in Boston closing the door. I'm just not. They have a hard time doing it every year. Now this year,
different.
I mean,
I was saying in our first one, I think this year is just a little bit different.
Let's just
there's a little more to it.
Well, Tatum's playing like Tatum should play, and you're getting. What is shocking me is you're getting quality minutes out of Al Horford.
Oh yeah.
You are getting this guy's 10 years younger. He's
well, and you can just go back to there you go. Their last game, they only played they played 8, but Hauser only played 9 minutes, but they were their starting 5 and they took them.
Yes,
and they
played the starting 5. They play 7 guys. Well, 7 guys.
Basically.
But your starters, if you can see here, how they all played over 40 minutes with the overtime period.
Yeah, even Horford played 39 and a half. I mean, for a guy his age, and he put 15 and 6 up with the 3 blocks.
Well, I mean, it shows that that he really, really wants this. And a guy, and then of course Drew Holiday is just Drew Holiday. And
another great pickup.
I know everybody is clicking at the right time for Boston. The last couple times they've been this deep. Something was off.
Yeah.
Something was just off.
And then did make a change that some people didn't like. I thought it was a pretty good move, getting rid of Keith Smart, who's he's a great player.
Yeah.
But you replace him with Drew Holiday, who gives you just that little bit more than what Smart was giving you.
Yeah, Smart was a good player, but Smart was a little bit too emotional in situations that he didn't need to be.
And Holiday
can
do everything.
Well, Holiday,
what did he have? 28, 7, 8 assists, 3 steals.
Holiday is one of those cool heads who just goes out there and plays.
Yes,
and he can run the floor when he's there. He's consistent as hell, and he always has been. And he's older now. He's more mature.
Right.
He's. I mean, what did he score? Like hell, he scored 28 last night.
Look at his minutes. Played every minute.
Yeah,
48 minutes.
I mean,
that's your leader. That's your guy. That right there is the main reason I think this is the year.
Well, I don't
know if they'll win it all. I haven't got that far yet, but they're going to get there.
And I had Indiana losing to Milwaukee. Then when they beat Milwaukee, I had them losing to New York. And then they beat New York. Now I got them losing to Boston. I don't know. That's just weird in my head. So I still don't think they got what it takes to beat Boston.
I don't either.
I think their one shot was last night, and they couldn't close it out. They couldn't hit them with the knockout punch. Nope. And that's going to be a demoralizing loss. I think tomorrow night when they play again, Boston's just going to probably beat them by 10, 15 points.
Yeah. No, I think it goes 5, maybe 6. Pacers may get 2 out of them. But I think that's best case scenario.
I think it's 4-1. I don't.
Yeah, I'm thinking 5.
I think Indiana might win one at home in the 2 games they got at home, and it may. And if Boston blows them out tomorrow night, like I think they will, and then they go into Indiana on the third game, he may play a few more than 7 guys, just to let them rest a little bit, maybe. Not play everybody the game 3, then come back in game 4 and smack them and go back home and win the thing.
Right.
So
he don't want it to go long because on the other side of the bracket, if they win that series, they're going to have a battle on their hands. For that
Yeah, they
side
are.
of the bracket.
I understand that, but you need to give your guys some rest. You can't let them get hurt. So you want to win it quickly, but at the same time, you don't want to wear them out
Right.
in a game that's. I don't know. It's gonna be some different strategy going on moving forward with them. How do you want to handle it?
Like I think if you go up 2-0 and you go back to Indiana, maybe you, like you said, pull in some bench and try to steal one. You steal that third game, and you're in good shape.
I think if you're up 2, you're not going to go to Indiana and play these guys 35 minutes each.
I wouldn't think so.
I think you're going to pull back a little bit and let definitely with Horford. Let Horford rest a little bit. Maybe play 20, 25 minutes or whatever. But it's just I don't know. It's going to be fun. I tell you what, they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just seeing them move the ball like they should be able to move the ball. And so. But anyway, we both got Boston going.
Yep.
We're going to the finals, and now let's talk about the West. My God.
Not much to talk about. First round.
We had Oklahoma City winning. I didn't think they'd sweep. I really didn't. I thought they'd lose one.
Yeah.
But New Orleans just without
Zion,
they're just not any good.
Well, that's a horrible matchup for them.
Yeah.
Thunder and the Thunder played like they'd had all year. The Thunder came out with a vengeance. They came out. They were too young. They were too fast.
That's right. You're too young.
They did what they. did what they were.
Well, that's what the media. I mean, everybody said they're too young. Youngest team. They're not going to do very well. They ought to be happy with just getting the best record and getting in there. But if we all look at it, they kind of. Them and Denver and Minnesota all had the best record, so they're all three equally good. It just happened that Oklahoma City won a tiebreaker.
Sure,
and they were the ones.
I don't buy the whole worst number 1 seed ever. They're throwing out there. I mean, come on, this is a good team. And we'll talk about it a little bit later on. But they're 1-2 pieces away from just really making an even stronger run.
Then we look at Minnesota and Phoenix. That was just an absolute ass kicking.
Yeah,
Phoenix, how they didn't win 2 out of that, or at least 1. My God,
Minnesota's
extremely good, but Phoenix has some players. Yeah. Phoenix has some tools, but they're
too old.
They couldn't.
They're just too.
Right. I put them in the Laker category.
Lakers, Golden State.
They're at that. They've got too many. Veterans on the team. They don't have enough youth in this league, and we've talked about this before. This league is turning into a youth league. If your average age is 25 or more, you're in trouble. You can't keep up. But then Dallas and the Clippers. That one.
I had the Clippers winning that one.
I did too.
I really thought they would win it, but I think I had the Clippers. Hell, I don't.
Well, but then again, Dallas during the season, they didn't show me much. I mean, I know they won the Southwest Division. I understand that, but let's look at the number. Yeah, they barely beat New Orleans for it, and Houston was just about 8 or 9 games back. But there wasn't a great division. That was the weakest division in the conference. But. And here they go. They beat. They blew them out 4-2. It wasn't even close.
They beat them. I was surprised. They really beat a Clippers team I thought was going to be a lot more prepared. I really thought the Clippers were at least going to get that.
Well, the only thing about the Clippers that got me was a little bit again the Laker thing. Do you get too much high profile bodies over there?
And I think that's what you run into with them over there.
Man, you got Paul George, you got Russell Westbrook, you got James Harden, you got.
You run into it with the Lakers, you run into it with the Phoenix.
Right. Well, and that's all the Lakers.
And look what's happening.
The Lakers they're old.
Like you said, they're all getting beat. Golden State didn't even make the playoffs. So
yeah,
it's turning.
It's turning.
Thankfully,
when we get all done with this, we're going to talk about the draft a little bit, and I'm going to show you some stuff that I found doing a little research before the show here, just to show you. I don't know if you know this is going on, but let me talk about a couple things in the draft. But I mean, Denver just annihilated the Lakers. That one game they lost was, I think they threw that one. They just annihilated them. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, and I think everybody knew that going in. You talk about a horrible matchup. Lakers, just no way the Lakers had.
No.
I mean, Davis is an answer for Jokic, but not much of one, as it appeared.
Davis,
And-
I think Davis is past his prime
But-
already. I think he's done.
He's good, but yeah, he's
done.
like the rest of them. He's good for the.
Well,
He can't compete. Well,
I put the Lake. I always go back to the Miami Heat, 2011, 2012 when they got to the finals. I go back and you had LeBron, you had Wade, and you got Chris Bosh,
Mhm.
who they wanted to make out as the second coming because he's just a superstar, just like LeBron and Wade is. Okay, no, he wasn't.
Mhm.
He was never that guy, and that's kind of what I think about Anthony Davis. He's a guy who was highly touted out of college. He was going to be the next great big guy.
And he was for a few years. He
For
had
a couple
injuries.
years, he did a couple things, but he was not this level. He was second tier
Yeah,
great, not superstar great. And they brought him over here saying he was going to be like Kareem and Magic when you had he and LeBron, and it just didn't work.
yeah. Nice. Either again, he's been hurt a lot.
Yes, I just don't.
Yeah.
Think, I don't ever think.
And you hamstring yourself when you got LeBron pulling the trigger and bringing in who he wants, when he wants, how he wants.
Yeah, when you got a
Making
guy on the floor coaching the team, and and the rest of the players don't have the coach for them because LeBron is running the team.
Right.
It just
No.
doesn't work.
No.
And now they're going to go out and find a supposed other new coach who's going to go in there and do the same thing. It's not the coach, people.
If LeBron's even there.
It's not the coach, people. Everywhere this guy goes, he destroys the franchise simply because he tells the front office what to
He
do.
has to run things.
He has to run things. It's a joke. But anyway.
But
then-
thankfully, they're gone.
Yeah, so then you had Denver and Minnesota. You got a great,
The next
Great.
trip round was two great series.
oh my God, Denver and Minnesota was just it was just an all-out war.
Yeah.
It was just knockout punch after knockout punch.
Yeah.
And
And I'll tell you what, I really, really like Minnesota.
yeah,
Anthony Edwards is
second level ungodly.
he is going to be something else in the young
Gonna be shit. He's already.
and Towns. And I mean, I've never been a Rudy Gobert fan.
No.
I've never thought a whole lot about him. He serves his purpose and does his role there. But picking up Conley,
Well, Conley's one that, again, another old guy
right?
who goes in there like the Horford situation. He knows how to play.
Yeah.
He's been in the playoffs. He knows how to help the youngsters on the floor. He knows how to make everybody else better.
But they spread
God,
they,
he's
they,
so
they
good.
spread it around. They had that last game against Denver. 6 of the 8 that played were in double digits, and then you look at Denver and they had 2, Jokic and Murray.
Yeah. Well,
I mean-
they got lost with Jokic, and that happens to Denver every now and then throughout the season. I mean, it's like it kind of reminds me a lot of the old.
Again, you feed Jokic, and it's either Jokic or it's Murray, and that's all they had, especially in
Yes.
that last game.
Well, nobody else would step in.
right? Nobody else would take that shot.
They
Nobody
keep
else would
throwing
do
the
that
ball to
thing.
only one or two, and nobody else wants
Yeah.
to touch the thing, and that hurts them, especially when Jokic or Murray, they both have to be on every game,
Right.
or they don't go, and that's what happened with Minnesota. They weren't on every single game, and Minnesota has more weapons than Denver does.
Yeah.
And I mean, they proved it. They just went out there and they just threw them around the floor. Though I mean, it was incredible. It was a
They
great
have-
series. It was a
They've
great
got the
series.
size to kind of match up with Jokic. I mean, Jokic still had that last game in 34 and 19. I mean, Jokic still did what he does somehow, some way.
But then if
But-
you look at Murray still scored 35. But look at the rebounds of everybody else: 3,
Mhm.
4, 5. I mean, Jokic got 19, but nobody else did.
Right.
Nobody else did, and I don't know. Minnesota seemed to be more hungry.
Right.
Then
And that's
Denver.
what I was talking about earlier. I think the team of your quote team of destiny, I think it's going to be Minnesota.
Yeah.
They're just,
Well, they're
man, they're good.
well, okay. They're
I think
playing
they're-
Dallas. Let's go back. Dallas and Oklahoma City.
Great series again.
Again, a magnificent series. We're Oklahoma City folks here. The Thunder this year surprised everybody except maybe themselves. They were the number 1 seed out of the West. However, Denver had the same record. Oklahoma City won a tiebreaker. Minnesota was just a game behind both of them. So all 3 teams were basically the same record. So any of those three could have ended up with the number 1 seed. So any one of those 3 teams should or could be favored to win the whole damn thing in the West. And Oklahoma City had it. They had it. And I personally think that the lack of experience in a pressure situation with so many kids is what kind of got them. I just feel that
and lack of size.
Oh yeah,
Lively and Gafford and Washington played. Washington reminded me of the year when they played Golden State, and Klay Thompson just couldn't miss a damn shot. That's what Washington was, and not every game, but Lively was unstoppable. Doncic. Doncic is good, but I swear, the whining and the crying and the collapsing and that game, I can't remember what, game 1 or 2.
It was 2.
Where there was 2 times that, the game is somewhat close and he's standing on the other end of the court with his hands up in the air, bitching and moaning, and the Thunder on a fast break scoring.
Well, I agree.
I don't get it.
I agree.
I don't get it.
The thing about it is because of the likes of LeBron, it's become the way, and James Harden, it's become the way to get more calls.
Yeah.
The more you bitch, the more they call. The more you bitch, the more fouls they get called for you. And unfortunately, that's what's happening in the NBA right now because in Game 7 they hit him with a tee, and I was stunned.
Yeah, but it was early.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we had talked, and he needs to get another one and get him kicked out of there. But
yeah,
we both said at that same time that's not going to happen. They're not going to kick him out of the game.
No,
that's not going to happen.
No, and they had a shot too, and they did.
They had a couple. They wouldn't pull that trigger,
but they did.
And it's a shame because the guy is so damn good. I mean,
he is
upper level, top 4 or 5 in the league. Just shut up.
Yeah, just play.
But I mean, they're going to have to go get a couple big men.
Who are you talking about?
Oakland's.
Okay. Oh, absolutely.
Holmgren got pushed around.
Of course they did. They've got a hell of a lot of room on the cap.
Oh yeah. They're going to get them. They're going to go get a couple. I hope. I figure Giddey's probably gone.
Well,
Wiggins is probably gone.
I mean, if you've got some good stuff here to trade with, if you want to make a couple of deals, I think they need 2 big men that can get in there and muscle around. Put Holmgren at the 4.
They're good. They're good. They're deep.
I mean,
young.
2, not the 4.
They're just Holmgren. Yeah, with the 4. 2.
4.
Yeah.
5 is the 7.
Right. Power
4
forward.
is power forward. I'm thinking backwards. You put him at the 4.
Yeah.
And,
no, he's not.
That's
why Jalen Williams played center a lot for him because he's just not a banger.
No, and he's a pretty damn good 3-point shooter.
He is. They all are.
The thing is they shot themselves out.
So when they're off,
the games they lost, they shot themselves out.
Giddey really hurt him in a couple of those games because he was off.
He was off.
But you know what?
Game 7 there, they got a little shook when things weren't going their way, and they needed to do this and they needed to do that. And
all in all,
or Game 6, they were passing the ball too much. You were in Dallas. The crowd wasn't with them, and I don't know how many times they had 24-second call because they couldn't nobody take a shot.
Yeah.
They kept dishing, kept passing, which worked all year until then. I don't know. It's just they're young. They're going to be back. I mean, my God, hell.
Well, again,
they're so good.
I mean, Lively 12 points, 15 boards.
Yeah.
Doncic 10 boards. They got killed on the boards. They got murdered on the boards, and that's what beat them. They got to have that guy or two. They got to have the old Kendrick Perkins type. I think we need one of them. You need a really good big man. And like I said, they got the number 12 pick. They've got 17 draft picks. They got tons of cap room.
We'll look at it.
Trade people, so they're good.
The thing is they've got the cap room is what's so important right now.
Yeah.
You've got $35 million under the cap right now, and they go out there and trade a couple of these kids and get them a couple of, I wouldn't be against getting Steven Adams back over here.
I don't know if he's even functioning. He's still hurt, I think. But
as a secondary guy,
right?
You get you a starting big man and let him be a big man off the bench.
Yeah,
he's good for morale around here. People love him. You need big bodies.
Yeah,
you need 2 big bodies. You got to have a couple of crushers in there to get further in the playoffs. I mean, they're going to win. They're going to win games.
Oh yeah,
They're going to win.
That's
games.
just the beginning for them. Like I said, they're a year or two ahead of what we were. I mean, not
Right.
what they projected, but what we were thinking.
Sure.
As fans, we thought they were still another year or two away. But
So let's look at the final. Let's look at what we got here. We got Dallas
and Minnesota.
and Minnesota.
That'll be a hell of a series.
It's going to be.
Man, it's gonna be good.
It's going to be a really good series. I didn't think Dallas could beat Oklahoma City, but Kyrie Irving was the old Kyrie Irving. And if he stays that way and Doncic plays like he does and doesn't bitch to me, if Washington stays hot,
Well, that's just it. Yeah.
they got a shot.
I mean, I don't see Washington and Jones and Lively and all these guys staying as hot as they were during Oklahoma City.
I don't either.
Minnesota's a lot better defensively than Oklahoma City was,
Yes.
and they're a lot bigger. And they're
Well, they're a lot bigger.
there's things they can do Oklahoma City couldn't do. There's the other way around. But I think Minnesota. I don't see Dallas beating it. I think it'll go 6.
Well,
I got Minnesota winning.
I think Dallas's offensive rebounds are going to be down
Sure they
from what
are.
they were at Oklahoma City. And that's kind of what won the games for
Mhm.
Dallas. The games that Dallas won, they won on the offensive boards.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting 3, 4, 5 times,
God.
3, 4, 5 chances because we just
Late
couldn't.
in the game, we just couldn't get in there.
Oklahoma City just couldn't shove anybody around
Yeah.
to get underneath there. So, I think Minnesota they got those bangers they've got down there.
Yeah, that's why I said I got Minnesota winning this one.
Well, and their outside shooting is just as good as
Mm-hmm.
Dallas's is going into this series. I mean, they've been lighting it up from outside.
Doncic is not 100%.
No, and Denver is a much better team than Dallas,
Mhm.
and Minnesota handled them.
Yeah.
And I think Denver and Dallas are fairly equal as far as big guys.
Again, you got to take Jokic out of the picture because Jokic is above and beyond. But past that,
he is, but he's hurt.
yeah.
I mean,
But
he was literally playing fairly hurt against Oklahoma City.
you talking about Doncic? Yeah.
Yeah, he was limited on some minutes. There's some minutes he could have played that he didn't. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a great series.
I do too. But again, Doncic and some of them got banged around quite a bit early on.
Yeah.
Minnesota's a more physical team than Oklahoma City.
Oh,
So I don't know. I just don't see Dallas withstanding another series.
Well,
Series like that.
it depends on how they. It
But-
depends on how they defend. You know, if they do what Oklahoma City did, like with Dort, they put Dort on him and they just
Eat him up.
just covered him. You know, if they put a single guy on him, say this is your job, task it right here,
Yeah.
they've got a shot at really shutting him down.
Sure.
Because I don't know, it's going to be a good series. So
Yeah.
I will also go Minnesota. I don't think Dallas can handle them
No.
in the long run. I think maybe. I think they can get them in 5, to be honest with you.
Really?
I think they win 2 at home, then they split in Dallas and win 1 more in Minnesota. I don't know if Dallas can beat them twice in a row. I really don't.
I don't know. I got Minnesota.
Again,
6 at
I
best.
didn't think Dallas could win a game.
I didn't have either one of these. I didn't have either one of these teams in the finals anyway. So
When Oklahoma City and Dallas ended up being matched up, I thought it was going to be everybody wins at home, and Oklahoma City's going to win 4-3 and win all their home games. But that ain't the way it works.
nope.
And Dallas is a good road team.
Yeah,
They have been all year, and
I think that Oklahoma City thing probably took a lot out of them.
yeah.
So I don't see them getting past Minnesota, but we'll see.
Well, all right then. So are you looking at a finals of possibly Boston and Minnesota or Indiana and Dallas? Well, wait a minute. Who does Bronny play for?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's going to get picked up
Oh, he's not. He's not
Draft.
playing yet. So okay.
draft time.
Yeah, let's talk about it real quick. We'll do the draft the closer it gets. I made a little chart here.
Yeah.
Let you take a look at it real quick since you haven't seen it yet. The one in parentheses is how many draft picks they get this year in the draft. We talked about age.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Lakers, they get 1 pick, and the pick they get is the 55th out of 58 picks. It's the only pick they get.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Golden
Because
State.
of all the deals they made to support LeBron.
Correct. Look at the Golden State. They get 1 pick, and it's the 52nd out of 58 picks. They get 1 pick this year out of all the deals they made to win their
Phoenix
titles.
gets 1 pick, I believe.
Phoenix.
Yep, number 22.
Yeah, they get another. Yeah, they
That's-
forfeited that one.
had it
Yeah,
forfeited
they get
with
1
Denver.
pick, and they're old.
Yeah.
You know, and
Because all these teams made those deals to, quote, build themselves.
Correct.
And look where they're at.
well, and here's one that scares me.
Yeah,
San Antonio gets 4 picks this year. You know, and the first pick they get is the 4th pick of the draft and the 8th pick of the draft, and then they get 2 more.
But they're going to run into that same issue Oklahoma City ran into when they last year, or was it last year or the year before, when they had 3 or 4 picks.
Yeah.
You can't take all of them.
No.
So you don't have the room.
Well,
so,
what I'm saying is you start making deals to fill in the holes you had, and you still got Pop over there who
yeah, and you got Wembanyama. Who's
you got Wembanyama, and then now you're gonna give him 1, maybe 2 more great college kids, and then you're going to go out there and take your other couple of picks and probably deal them.
Yeah,
and get you some solid veterans in there. They could be scary this year.
They're on the path. It's like Oklahoma City. That could be a very, very good rivalry going forward.
They could be scary this year.
Yeah,
you know.
Poor Houston. You just keep thinking they keep getting the high draft picks every year. They're number 3 again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they've only got 2 picks.
You keep waiting for them. Well, Jesus, they've had. I mean,
yeah,
they've been in the top 5. How many years?
Yeah, and they just can't get better. Well,
yeah,
you know, in Washington, hell, they're the 2nd pick, and they get 3. They get 3 this year.
Yeah,
so they could be from just I don't know. So I mean, there's now let's talk about this Bronny situation. I don't think anybody will draft him unless he goes number 55 to the Lakers. And the only reason they'll do it is for them just a publicity stunt. The kid's not ready.
I just don't. I'm 54 years old.
Kid's not ready.
I have never seen in any sport, baseball, and we've seen some flops in baseball, but I've never seen one that is talked about can go number 1, or he may not even get drafted.
That's right.
This blows my damn mind. I mean, he's not 6'4" like everybody has said he has been for the last 2-3 years. He's 6'1".
He's 6'1".
You read what some of these scouts are saying. I'm sure there's some that are impressed with him. A couple of radio guys.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember who it was that said, he's the best prospect he's seen.
Well, they're trying to get LeBron on their broadcast to talk to him.
Yeah. Then you listen to these scouts, the anonymous scouts that the couple of them they were talking to the other day that said he's not ready. He's undersized. He can't shoot.
He didn't even play a full year in college.
Yeah, he can't.
And he had a heart attack or whatever the hell it was.
He can't lead a team. He's not he's a defensive liability because of his size. He's supposedly a great defensive player, which is great. He's 6'1".
He's a good defensive player against college style play. He's not a good defensive player against NBA style play.
Personally, I hope the Lakers draft him.
Oh, I do too.
I hope they use their 1 pick in this draft at number 55 to draft him.
The problem I've got is they're ruining the kid. You're going to go out there and make this kid come into the NBA and get his dick handed to him.
And make him think he's,
make him. I just don't.
Kid may come out and be a damn all-star.
Oh, I doubt it.
I don't see that.
I don't see that. He's gonna have a target on his back day one.
I just hope nobody wastes. Surely nobody's going to waste a lottery pick on him.
No,
I don't see it. I don't know what the hype.
He hasn't done anything. Even in high school, he wasn't over the top.
No, because everybody's talking about whatever his brother's name was.
Oh yeah.
Everybody said for a few years, from what I heard, that he is supposed to be better than Bronny is.
Yeah, well, Bronny's not that good.
I mean,
so how hard will that be?
I don't know.
Just because he's your daddy doesn't make you a superstar.
And and LeBron's made it known he wants to play with this kid.
I know.
If the Lakers want to go for the publicity, then there you go.
Well, they will.
Go draft him.
I don't know. They don't have any other picks. So unless they want to go out there and make a few deals they don't even have a coach because I don't know who's going to be.
They don't have any room in their cap.
I don't know who's going to be dumb enough to accept that job over there where LeBron's coaching. Yeah. Who wants it?
Yeah.
Who would want? I don't know. It's a joke. It's turned into a little circus.
Yeah. The draft ought to be good this year. There's a lot of talk of trades. There's a lot of talk of movement. Hell, Atlanta's talking about trading Trae Young. There's all kind of guys looking to move. I think this is going to be a good year. Oklahoma City's going to be a big player this year, I think, as far as maybe making some moves.
Well, you got the 12th pick, but they got a lot of draft picks to play with.
Right.
They need big men.
Yeah.
They got cap space, and they need some big guys. They don't need this 12th pick.
No, they don't need it, and they got 17, 18 draft picks behind it,
I don't
and
know
plenty
where
of
they
cap
got it.
room.
I mean,
So,
it's just insane.
but unlike anywhere else, those of us who are Thunder fans, all you do is say, whatever Presti does. The guy knows what the hell he's doing.
Sure,
So
he ain't screwed anything up yet.
he's got something in mind, I'm sure.
I mean, whenever he drained it and he got rid of Durant, he got rid of Harden, he got rid of Westbrook, they got rid of Adams, they got rid of Perkins, they got rid of Ibaka. And whenever he unloaded, he unloaded.
Yeah.
And he said, "We're going to start over." He just flat ass came. We're going to start over,
He
and
did.
he did.
Now you got Coach of the Year. Now
He's
you
coach
got,
of the year. Where
that came out of the blue.
made semifinals. I mean, or the quarterfinal. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
The man knows his business.
No,
So
like I said, I'm really thinking maybe they just won't even, like you said, won't even go trade that 12 spot, trade a draft pick or two, and go get you somebody.
well,
Go get you a name. Go
the
get
thing,
you a big
if
guy.
there's a great big monster out there that can be drafted number 12, I think they'll go get a monster from overseas or something.
Maybe.
If there's one out there that we don't know about, which hell, Presti knows things that we don't even know.
Yeah,
So
well, all the draft stuff I've seen, that I can't remember who, there's a couple of 6'7", 6'8" guys, more wing guys,
No,
which
I
they
need-
don't need. I don't see them.
I need monsters. I need
don't see them doing
a
that.
big old fashioned
That's why I'm
push
thinking.
around center.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they may draft somebody, but
Yeah.
I think when the draft day night is over, there's going to be some deals made, and
Well, I just
they're going to get them some, because you got to think Oakland is a good destination right now for some of these guys.
yeah. Yeah,
Why wouldn't you want to come here and play with this group?
well, we're going to be here a while. We got a new arena getting ready to be built. It's going to be all kinds of fanfare going on.
You're
You know,
young.
the kids the guys that are on the roster now, none of their contracts are due up in the
Not
next
yet.
couple of years. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're set, we're ready to roll. So, but anyway, that's where we're sitting. We'll get closer. We'll have us a little draft talk when the draft comes around. The NBA finals are going to be here pretty soon. And we'll see what's going on. We do appreciate you coming in. If you got any comments, leave us one down yonder. I'd like to hear what you think about coming up in the AL playoffs and what's happening now in the NBA.
And the draft coming up.
Got any
So
questions? Any questions, comments you want us to talk about, put it down there, subscribe, like, etc., etc., etc. For those of you who do come in, we do appreciate it. And we will talk to you very soon. We got some other interesting podcasts coming up. Keep an eye on it. Go ahead and subscribe. That way it'll knock you out whenever it comes over and you can see what we're talking
got
about.
a lot
So,
more good ones coming up. Go check out our older ones. They got some good ones out there.
That's right. Anything else?
That is it for today.
See ya.